Daily learning.
Easy English listening. The garden in my chest. Spring doesn't arrive with loud proclamations or grand parades. It tiptoes in softly, like a shy child entering a quiet room, brushing its fingertips against the edges of the air, trailing warm sighs over the grass, and painting the sky with whispers of blue. I always feel it before I see it. The shift in the breeze, the way the sunlight grows thicker, like honey drizzled on the earth, and the faint perfume of life beginning again. Each morning I rise to the symphony of birds singing just beyond my window, as if the trees themselves are composing verses of joy for another day, another chance. The sheer curtains billow gently in the early wind, letting slivers of morning light fall across my bedroom floor in long golden strokes. There's something sacred about this hour, when the world is half asleep, and I am the quiet witness to its waking. I have a small journal I keep by my windowsill. It's bound in soft, worn leather, its pages stained slightly with time and memory. On the first day of spring, I always begin a new entry, writing not so much with the intention to remember, but to relive, capturing the way the air feels like silk, how the sky blushes with the shy pink of cherry blossoms, and how my heart expands with each breath as if I, too, am blooming. My favorite place in the world is the garden behind our cottage. It isn't grand or landscaped with order. It grows wild and unapologetically free, like it has secrets it's been keeping all winter and now can't wait to spill them. There's a small wooden bench under a tree whose name I don't know, but whose shade I've memorized like a poem. In spring, the vines crawl upward again, the grass thickens into soft carpets, and the daffodils and bluebells return like old friends who never need to knock. Sometimes I walk barefoot along the stone path, letting the coolness seep into my skin, grounding me. I like to close my eyes and just listen. The buzzing of bees flirting with petals, the wind speaking in leaf language, the soft creak of the garden gate. I often wonder if the earth can feel our joy the way we feel its revival. When I'm not outside, I sit by the large bay window with a book in hand, my fingers curling around a mug of warm tea as the spring rain taps gently on the glass. There is nothing more soothing than the way rain falls in spring. Not rushed or harsh, but like the sky is gently weeping in relief. I've always loved rainy days. While others complain about the wet shoes and muddy paths, I find comfort in the quiet they bring, in how the world slows just enough for you to hear your thoughts more clearly. Sometimes, when the rain is light enough, I put on my old pastel raincoat and run outside, twirling under the falling drops like I'm part of a ballet only the clouds understand. The grass sticks to my ankles and the petals cling to my sleeves, and for a moment, I forget that I'm just a girl with a journal and a teacup. I feel like a creature of the season, made of mist and soil and light. The spring air carries so many scents it's impossible to count. The sharp sweetness of lilacs blooming near the gate, the vanilla scent of hyacinths, the green, alive smell of grass freshly kissed by rain. Sometimes I press my nose against a blossom and breathe in so deeply that it feels like the flower is blooming inside my chest. There are days when I walk into town, the streets lined with cherry trees in full bloom, their petals falling like confetti for a celebration no one remembers starting. Children chase each other across cobblestones, their laughter ringing like bells, and old couples sit on benches, their hands entwined like vines that grew together over time. I often stop by the old bookstore on the corner, the one with ivy curling around its doorframe and a bell that chimes softly when you enter. The owner, a kind woman with silver-streaked hair and a voice like soft pages turning, always greets me with a warm smile and a new recommendation. I think the shop itself loves spring. It always smells of lavender and old paper this time of year, and the sunlight falls in perfect squares across the wooden floor. In the afternoons, I sometimes bring my sketch pad into the garden and try to draw the life bursting around me. I'm not a great artist, but that's never stopped me. I draw the way spring makes me feel, a swirl of pastels and curves and blooming lines. I try to capture the way the wind lifts my hair, the way the petals scatter in the air like thoughts, the way the world looks like it's smiling. Evenings in spring are like lullabies. The sky turns soft, painting the clouds with watercolors, peach, lilac, and the faintest blue. The crickets begin their songs, and the stars appear shyly, one by one. I light a candle, curl up under my blanket, and watch the night settle around the garden. It's never dark in spring. Even the shadows feel warm. There's a tree I talk to sometimes, an old maple with branches shaped like open arms. I tell it things I don't tell anyone else. My hopes, my fears, the dreams I'm almost too shy to say aloud. I like to imagine it listens, not with ears, but with roots, feeling my words in the soil beneath us. Spring reminds me that I am alive, not just existing, not merely passing through time, but truly alive. It teaches me that beauty can be quiet and soft and still move you to tears. It reminds me that just as the flowers find their way back from beneath the snow, I, too, can find my way back to joy again and again. There's something about the way spring arrives that feels like forgiveness. It doesn't ask for apologies or explanations. It just opens its arms and lets you begin again. It tells you, in petals and birdsong, that you are allowed to bloom at your own pace, that softness is strength, and that there is no shame in having once been winter. One night, I dreamed I was walking through a meadow where every flower was a memory. Some were bright and joyful. Picnics with my sister under the apple trees. The first time I baked a cake that didn't fall in the middle. A letter I once received from someone who said I made their world lighter. Others were tinged with sorrow. A friendship that faded. A goodbye at a train station. The sound of rain falling on a day I felt alone. But in the dream, the flowers all grew together, side by side. Beautiful not in spite of their differences, but because of them. And I woke with a sense of peace, realizing that spring isn't just outside me. It grows within me too. This season, I am learning to be present, not rushing to the next moment, not clinging to the past. I am learning to listen to the wind, to the trees, to the beating of my own heart. I am learning that it's okay to be quiet, to be still, to simply be. I don't know what summer will bring, or where autumn will take me. I don't even know if winter will be kind. But I know this. Right now, in this season of blooming and birdsong, I am here. I am breathing. I am growing. And that, I think, is enough. And just like spring itself, our time together here gently comes to an end. Thank you for walking with me through this garden of thoughts, memories, and blooming feelings. I hope this story reminded you, even in the softest way, that you're allowed to take your time, to rest, to breathe, and to grow, just like the flowers after a long, silent winter. Until we meet again, may your days be gentle, your heart full of wonder, and may you always find a garden growing quietly inside your chest. Take care, and I'll see you in the next story.